Hi everyone and welcome back to Crafts with Mike. I know it's been a while, but we are back with some more of the Aragog painting of the spider. Now, as some of you know, I had to pause this whilst I awaited some paint, and then randomly I got a package from my friend who very kindly said he wanted to send me a gift. And in that gift I had a selection of paints, and we got this lovely acrylic black paint here, so it does mean that we can finish this. Now this paint here is apparently a Sire black, so this is a Sire colour, and we've got quite a big tube here. So what I'm going to do is use an old diamond painting tray. I don't tend to use the green one, so we're just going to apply a generous amount of black paint there, just a splodge or so, and as you can see it's nice and thick, so we won't need to wet it down a bit or thin it down if you like. And as you can see, this is a leg that I decided to do off camera just to give it an idea to see if it would match the other back. It's a tad darker, so we might go over this back one, but it's up to you entirely if you want to take the leg off and do it like that, or just try and get all around the gaps. For me, I'm going to try and just paint it on, but you can obviously take the leg off if you wanted to, but I'm going to keep it all in place and just paint as we go. So let's get going here. We're going to use two brushes here. We've got a flat side or an angled brush. If you look at that, it's slightly angled. And then we've got a slightly pointer brush so that we can get all in the nooks and crannies. Now with my paint brushes, it's entirely up to you. I tend to chuck them away once I use them because it's they're cheap as bricks to buy, and I can't be asked to keep cleaning them out. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll just notice that we've skipped a leg there, so we'll finish this leg off and then we'll do that. Now it doesn't matter if I get paint on this desk because I can get that off quite easily, but as you can see, this thinner brush is going to get right into that lovely crack down there and all like into the hard to reach places, if you like. It's just so exciting seeing, you know, this being able to do again, because we haven't been able to do this for some time because of, you know, the paint and waiting for the paint to come. But this big tube should last us, it's got quite a bit in it, so should last us quite a fair time. And now that I know where you buy it from, I think it came from Amazon, so I think we can get refill on there. But they come in a massive set and you get all sorts of different colours. I think I got 12 altogether, so it's just fantastic. So yeah, apologies it's been a bit quiet on the craft channel. It's not because I haven't got any thing to do on it, it's literally because I've been trying to hunt down a black paint, because obviously you don't want to use a paint that's like Humbrol, for example, because Humbrol is mainly used for like hobby crafts like Airfix and stuff. So this paint is just perfect. It goes on all surfaces, and it really does work very well. And I was going to paint some yesterday, but the day just went so quick, and I was waiting on some Mal, because we haven't had Mal for nearly a week and a half, and Saturday a big load of Mal came, so my plan of action was to do some of this as I planned to, but it didn't go to plan. So I was like, right, that's it, I'm doing some today, because it's just turned, I think it's, yeah, 10 to 6, and obviously I like to film in natural daylight. I don't really want to film in you know, with lights on and that, because natural daylight is the best. So okay, so I've done that. I'm going to just quickly go over this side here. What I might do as well is get some latex gloves, because when I paint I like to wear protective gloves. but it just depends. Now I tend to go all in the one direction. I don't really do none of this brush up and down business. I just like to really paint it up as best I can. Now you can see there's streaks going on there, so I'll just even that out a bit. But this is going to be a really cool project. I really enjoy painting. It's therapeutic, you know, and it's quite nice. I suppose it's like a diamond painting whipping chat this session, because obviously, just try and get that in there. But yeah, it's like a diamond painting whipping chat really, because obviously we're talking as we're painting away. Now I was going to do I'm going to leave that how that goes. We'll make an assessment on this rear section, abdominal section, once we've put on more paint, because I want to see how it dries, and I'll do the underneath later. But I'm not sure what to do the eyes, whether we should detail it or just do it in a standard white. I'm a little bit not sure on that. So, and what's lovely about this paint is it seems to dry pretty quick. I've never worked with this new paint that Peter got me, but now that we know that it's a Saya black, we know what paint to get next. We know what paint we need for the rest, so it's so lovely. And what it does mean is my fairy that I was doing and the gnome, we can work back on that. So yeah, so for the next sort of few days and so, we'll be doing, Tuesday will be Aragog, and then Wednesday will be a bit of the fairy, and then Thursdays will be a bit of the gnome, because I think that just needs a little bit of a second coat, and then that should be that all taken care of really. But yeah, these kits, I mean, it's entirely up to you. I've got another spider, as you know, that I'm not modding. I really wanted to paint one up and then see how it looked. And then the funny thing is I was in the front room today tidying up, and I moved the sofa because there was some stuff that fell behind it. And this whacking great big spider, it was literally humongous, came out from the back of the seat, and I was like, oh my god, I've got to get rid of this. Like, if a spider is in the room, I feel like I can't do it. So I'm gonna leave these fangs for the minute, because I'm not entirely sure if I want to change that or keep it all black. I might detail it somehow, so I'll try my best to not get paint on that. And I think I'll work from, it's a little bit of paint that we've missed there. But what's nice about this is I can move on, you know, around the things. So I'm gonna do, yeah, we'll do this leg here. I might go back in, I'll go into the front one a bit later on, because obviously I don't want to take it too far near that fang. I'm assuming that these I mean, I'm not specialist in, you know, spiders and things, but even this is just freaking me out, even though it's not real. But I'm trying to get over arachnophobia. These would obviously be the fangs, but I'm not entirely sure what these are. They could be mandibles or something, but Peter might be able to confirm that. Peter Webster there. So yeah, these paints have just been a lifesaver, because I dread to think how long it's been since I last filmed something on this channel. Crafting is very difficult to come up with things to to do, and I don't really know what to do for crafts apart from, I mean, the bags, the make and create bags, they were only done because obviously the works made an error and put them in by accident, and they said that I could keep them, so yeah. So that was the only reason for that. Now, depending on whether I'd like to do a treasure box or something, because you can get these wooden crates from the works. So I suppose if you wanted to, you could use, you don't necessarily have to use paint, but you could use a Sharpie, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, this part here we can hold because that's dried lovely. But yeah, it's entirely up to you. I mean, with me, Aragog is mainly like a black, but sort of like tinge of grey into it. But I don't necessarily copy the same colours that are on the actual puppet from the film. I tend to try to match it as best as I can, but I much prefer doing my own style of it. So yeah. And these little diamond painting trays are the, you know, they just do the job perfectly, because I don't keep the, so you see this, that can get right down into that groove. I don't necessarily, you know, keep the green trays, so they work really well. So yeah, really happy with the finish of this. The result is perfect. I actually got these brushes off Temu, and they're actually based in, I think it's China, but I think Sunny Stormy said that they're based in America, Boston, or wherever they come from. I tend to source them from wherever's got the best price, really, and Temu done a pack of them, so I'll put the link for that in the description of the video. So yeah, I don't think I would have the skills to paint a bedroom wall, for example, or a living room, but I mainly decided to get into painting through these sort of wooden build-up kits, and some build-up kits don't really need painting. It all depends on whether you want to give it a bit of detail, but I really also bought it to really sort of like improve my skills at painting, because I'm not the best painter, to be frank. So I'm just going to get another refill of this Saya Black. Now I could use a thinner brush on this back leg section, but I'd much like to use the wider section of the paint. It just tends to get it done a lot more quicker. But I'm so happy I've been able to get some done today, because I keep Mondays free on the craft channel. I don't do crafts on a Monday, so to finally get this moving again is going to be quite good, really. I'm trying to have a hunt around for some more characters, because I'd love to do the, I don't know if they've got like a wooden car that goes in the, you know, the Weeping Willows. Now, obviously, you might be thinking, why am I painting over that logo? The reason being is because, obviously, I don't really want the writing showing, because it would make it very distractful. So I want to sort of, you know, keep it to as best I can on here. Now what I'll do is we might have to erect this leg out so that we can get into the details of here, but that's not a problem. What I want to try and do first, when you're running low on paint, it's always best to focus on the main detail first. So in this case, it would be the outside of the spider, and then work your, you know, work your way to get more paint, and then you can do the rest. But this will give it a lovely, it is really jet black now. I'd love to do a scorpion in this, because some of you know I love my scorpions. So the Manchurian scorpion and the Emperor scorpion are my favourites. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to try and do a bit of detailing here if we can. I might need to change the brush in a few places there. But yeah, the thing is with Peter is you have to be careful in like what you say you like, because if you say that you like something, Peter 10 times out of 10 will get you it. So he must have knew that I wanted paint. But yeah, I'm such a busy person that it just goes over the top of me sometimes, and I forget things very easily, even though I don't have dementia or anything, or Alzheimer's, but I seem to forget things very easily. So without my notepad, if I don't write it down, someone has to remind me, or I won't, or I'll you know, forget about it. So yeah, we might need to get another brush in here. Obviously you can see from here, you can see if I went into this slat here, you can see it just gives that lovely platform, you see, and it gets all that down there done, you see. So that's why I'm using this same brush still. You only really want to use the thinner brush if you're you might need to get in the hard bits, you know, the cracks and stuff. So but yeah, I can't be arsed with washing and thingy of trays, so I like to, when I finish with it, I'll just chuck it in the bin. Because as well, the bristles can get, you know, as you can see here, that one's got a bit out of shape. So it's always good. I always find it easier to get fresh, clean brushes. I mean, they'll take a bit of a while to get here, but Temu are great, and they're the only company I found that I think they were like £1.50 or something. So it's just brilliant, because Amazon would charge you like £5 something for a pack of these probably. But I was at my relatives the other day, and I found some paintbrushes in the sink, under the sink, and it really, I was like, oh my god, they look lovely. Because at some point I've got to repaint the front room, because the contractors that we had all new refurbishments that they wanted to do, and they damaged the wall paint, so I got compensation from it, but they're supposed to be coming out to fix it, but they're not going to be able to match the paint that I've got, because I don't think they sell it anymore. So it means at some point I've got to redecorate it in the, you know, the best matching colour I can. So yeah, just gonna get into there a bit more, and even though obviously that would be down, but to me, I need to, you could leave, you know, the underside if you wanted to in these parts here, but to me, I want to have it all filled in. And obviously depending on how it dries will depend on whether we need to give it another coat. But yeah, I've quite enjoyed doing this session here, because it's been stuck on one leg painted for so long. And to finally get some more done, it's just fantastic. it's gonna, I think I will do the eyes white. Obviously spiders don't have white eyes, but it will look really nice against the black. Obviously if we do it all black, then it's not going to have any detail whatsoever. So for the eyes and that, and they'll be so camouflaged in that you won't recognise what it's like, really. So yeah, I've been watching TikTok recently, and there's some creators on there, and all they do is go, there's this, obviously you get gifs and things on TikTok, but they go, thank you for the rose, thank you for the like, thank you for the rose, corn, thank you for the rose, you know. And it's like over and over and over, and there's one person that does it on there, and he keeps going, he must have said corn like 50 odd times, and he was going, thank you for the corn, thank you for the corn, until obviously someone else gifted, and then that sort of released him from doing thank you for the corn. And then I think they changed it, and then he went ice cream. So I think it's quite annoying. I find it, but yeah. I mean, really, you should sort of paint them before you put it all on, but I really don't fancy stripping it down, so that's where these brushes come in to get into it. Very nicely done. So already you can see that this is dried lovely around here. So you can see already that it's really quite doing the job. So we've got a bit of a leg here. But yeah, you know, there will be parts that need to go back over again, but what I'd like to do is, because you can see that if I pick that up, it's pretty much dry, so I'd like to do a bit of the underneath now. Now obviously when a spider dies, what will happen is they actually lie on their back like this, and what happens is they fold their legs into them. So this part here would be folded direct, you know, and they fold their legs as if they're like imploding, because an explosion is outwards, an implosion is inwards, so it'd be like that. But this is quite nice. I like the fact that it's got like like the legs will act as like a little stand. We are missing a leg there, I've just realised that, so I don't know where that's fell off, but I will sort that out. And I'll get the bit more paint here, and then we'll just go as best we can all over it. Really happy with the progress of this. It's looking more and more like a spider now, so yeah. The more you paint and see it come to life, the more you want to do. So yeah, I'm going to do this for another 10 minutes or so, and then I think we'll leave that session there, because I would like to drag this out a bit, because we've still got we need to see how it dries, and also we need to sort the eyes out. Obviously once the colour's on, it's going to be quite difficult to correct if it's not come out right, you know, so I used to do these clay kits, and what you would do is it's like a plastic model, and then you put clay or plasticine around the product. So you would have, like, imagine this plastic, and then you put clay on it, and then you would paint it on. You know, paint your different colours on that you wanted. So it's quite lovely. So as you can see for here, I think I'll hold that section a bit now, because get into all these little cracks. What a better way to spend a Sunday afternoon painting. My mum years ago would sit out there for hours just painting the fence, and I used to help, but I don't mind doing the first coat because you see progress, because for example you can see that that's covering up this beigey colour, but doing the second coat feels like you're not painting nothing because it's already that colour. That's a bit of the eye that's just fell off there, so because obviously I haven't glued this, I don't plan on gluing it, so let me just finish down here. See, like bits like here might need a second coat, as you can see here. It sort of like needs that second little touch up there. Now it's very thick in some places, so that's where you sort of like, as you can see, just brush it out, and then yeah. I'd like to get an Airfix model and paint that up. That would be quite cool. I used to always buy them. There was a shop in Chelmsford called Hornby, and they sold Airfix models, train sets, Humble paints. Nowadays you have to sort of order them online if you can't source them, you know, so now there will be patches showing, but that's why we need to allow 24 hours. I mean, the paint won't take 24 hours. As you can see, it dries really quick, but obviously we need to give it a good 24 hours so that we can see where we need to paint over on some aspects. But I reckon we might have to second coat this, so that's no problem. So for this back part, I reckon I'm probably going to give it a little bit. I mean, the spinners as well, I'm not going to bother about, because these spinners are, these pointy parts here, that's what makes the web. So So as you can see, these parts here would make the web of the spider, and believe it or not all spiders spin webs. I don't research spiders because even just looking at them online freaks me out, but what I do is I do a collection called Real Life Bugs, and it was basically a collection where you have magazines of different bugs, but each issue came with like a glass block with a bug in it, you know, very similar to like taxidermy, or which is basically real skin that is shoved. It's basically real animal skin, but they stuff it to make it look like a plush toy or something, you know. So there are bits and pieces here that I'd have to definitely go over again, but yeah. But as you can see, just one sort of stroke can cover quite a large section. But yeah. It's like if you put a lighter colour and then you try and cover it up with a much lighter colour, it won't work. So the way to cover up a lighter colour and start from scratch is basically just cover it with a darker colour, and then that's the I mean, that's all you can do. But what I love about this paint as well is that, as you can see, it doesn't drip. So it's quite a lovely paint. Some paints are not thick enough and they sort of drip, but if you found that the paint was too thick, you can always thin it down with a bit of water. So yeah, that is looking lovely. Would have been nice if they, you know, they made the actual wood in black, but I think they do it in this natural beachy sort of colour, or beige if you like, so that, you know, we can paint it up if you want. But yeah, I have to say this paint dries really quick, so it's quite a fast-paced paint. Sorry, quite a fast drying paint there. But I think that's most of that done. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave it here for today, guys. So as you can see, we've done. Actually, let me just see if I can do that other part of the leg for the minute. I'll just finish off this leg, and then it will just be a case of detailing the eyes and that next. And obviously with your paint brushes, it's always good to have water nearby or tissue, because if you leave your brush like that, the paint is all going to get dried up in the brushes, and that's why it's harder to then try and get the paint out. But you see, it's just the perfect sort of brush for that section. And then I'll just get a little bit of there just to get in that crack there. As I said, I'm not entirely sure. I reckon that these, as I said, these are the fangs and they're the mandibles. So obviously I don't want it all looking black, because it's going to be too much. Obviously you can get all black spiders, but what I would like to do, I wonder if a real spider saw it and then, you know, we made it animatronic, it would run away. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that, because as you can see here, there might just be a little bit. But yeah, as you can see here, we've done quite a lot. I'll find that other leg, I'm not sure why that's fell off, but we've now sort of covered all of the spider up now. I want to experiment with here and try and get some detail on that. Obviously there's a bit down there that but I'm quite happy with that. We've done all the legs, and then obviously on the butt underneath we've covered that most up, and then obviously these thick parts that have not dried yet, you just sort of flatten it out. For example here, you just sort of like thin it off a bit, and it will dry perfectly. But yeah, really happy with that. But obviously you can see there's patches and parts here that need, you know, doing in that, but that is absolutely brilliant. I'm really happy with that. But yeah, okay, so the next session that we do with Aragog will be doing these parts here with the mandibles, letting all that dry, and then doing the detail on the eye, which we might have to do in 2 sessions to really let that black dry. But it's certainly looking more like a spider now that it's black and all sort of ready to go, really. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. So please remember to like, share, subscribe. If you like what you see, I will put the link in the description of the video so that you guys can get one for yourself. The next video will be on Wednesday, where we do a bit more of the fairy. We do need to do a lot of, we've got a couple of reds here that we're going to be choosing from. Unfortunately with the works, they don't give you a very much, they give you very little paint, and it's a small bottle like that. But we do have a Carmen here, and we do have a Vermilon. So we'll have a look. I reckon it's probably going to be this one, but we might have to recoat this in this one here, because it's a little bit wish-washy, and I might go over that because that's probably the nearest I can match that to that. But yeah, so we'll do more on the fairy. It definitely needs to have some touches up going on here because it's a lot washy. And then obviously we will be doing on Thursday a little bit of the gnome, and maybe on Friday we'll finish off this dinosaur and bits and pieces like that. Always amazes me how they have a small arm and then the massive body. But anyway, please remember to like, share, subscribe, tap the bell if you want to be notified of all the videos that I do. And I'll see you again soon for Aragog next Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.